Hey, welcome to the show. We're glad you could make it along with Zubin Mehenti. I'm Stan Verett. Lots of NBA highlights to show you on this Sports Center, including two players going for 50-plus, one of them all the way to 60, but their individual brilliance didn't add up to wins. That had only happened once before ever, Zubin.
You got it, Stan. You got to go back to the days of George Gervin. More on that in a second to find the last occasion that had two guys go for at least 50 and see both of their teams lose. Let's start with what's on Lillard's computer in the new SportsCenter commercial starring Stan, Linda, and Neil. That is Dame time everywhere you look on your screen. Here we go. Or would it be Kyrie time? Two of the NBA's bucket fillers meeting, both averaging 30 points per game early in this season. First half belong to Lillard. He was just getting started. This is the 50th season of Blazers basketball, and they're hoping this could be a seminal season for Lillard, stepping back and then just on fire, 26 in the first half. And remember, they still don't have Nurkic yet. They're not even close to being 100% in the third quarter. Lillard driving. That's Dame time. That is Dame time. One more look. The Blazers, despite all the heroics of Damian Lillard, are down one. These are two of the NBA's more uneven teams. I think both were expecting quicker starts, and then good luck stopping that. 44 through 3. Let's go to quarter four. Blazers down one. Lillard can do it all. That finally gives the Blazers a 1-point lead. He's got a sixth career 50-point game, but it would go for naught. Joe Harris, an afterthought of the league a couple years ago, the three-point champion, got a big new deal. We're tied at 103. Next possession, Harris again. And the Nets take a three-point edge there later in the fourth. We mentioned this would be a battle of two guys averaging 30. Where's the other guy? Kyrie to the cup. Remember, he had those 50-point games out of the gate, though they weren't successful early on in Nets losses. Oh, beautifully done. And the Nets are in position. They've got a three-point lead to the cup. Kyrie off glass, you better believe it. And the Nets look like got themselves a little bit of breathing room. Portland finds itself a little bit of a hole here. Lillard got it. That gave him 60 in a loss.
All right, the Warriors taking on the Wolves in Minnesota. D'Angelo Russell back after missing the previous 3 games with a right ankle sprain. Pick it up at the end of the third quarter. Russell's already warm, so he's going to fire that one up from St. Paul. Before the end of the third quarter, Warriors up 86-80 entering the fourth. Russell 31 points through 3. Under 5 minutes to go. Warriors by 3. Russell 7 of 17 for three-point range. Warriors lead up to 6. Same margin here. Andrew Wiggins, big night for him too. He's knocking down the 3. 2 for 7 from beyond the arc. Timberwolves down by 3. Now 33 seconds left. 2-point game. Russell with Karl Anthony Towns on him. Step back, and he knocks it down. Russell, a new career high, puts the Warriors up by 4. His previous career high had been 44. Wiggins not backing down. 17 of 33 for Wiggins from the floor. They're all tied up with 5 seconds to go. Final possession of regulation. Russell, not that time. So they're headed to overtime. Warriors trailing by 3. Russell. He shot it 37 times, but then again, you look around, who else is going to shoot it for Golden State? He hit 19 of those 37 shots, tied it at 116 there. Less than a minute left in overtime. Warriors down 4. Russell, 3 more. Career high 52. 9 rebounds and 5 assists, but the Warriors still down 1. And Wiggins is going to keep them down. 40 for Wiggins, 5 rebounds and 7 assists as well. The Timberwolves spoil Russell's big night, 125 to 119. We hinted at this earlier. Did you know Friday, the 16th time in NBA history that multiple players scored 50 points on the same day? But it's just the second time both lost. The other day, April 9th, 1978, when both David Thompson and George Gervin did it in their famous last day duel for the scoring title. All right, how about the Lakers? LeBron James entered Friday with 3 straight triple-doubles, tied for the longest streak of his career, while the Lakers entered on a 6-game win streak, their longest win streak in a single season since 2011. 6-game run for LA, tied with Boston for the longest current streak in the NBA. Miami raising a few eyebrows with a 6-2 start, so let's get it on. Lakers and Heat when cooked. No good. Anthony Davis with a stick back. The Lakers up 4. Later in the first, Lakers up by 1. Alex Caruso, become a fan favorite at Staples Center, leaving it for Davis, and the Lakers up 3. Later, 3-point LA lead. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to Caruso, and that gets him up. James Johnson got out of the way. He didn't want to be on the business end of that one. Second quarter, Lakers up 4. Caruso working with LeBron James. Give and go, and it's gone. Dwight Howard enjoying the show. Third quarter, Lakers up by 3. James with Myers Leonard on him, at least initially. Caught him off balance and went straight to the rack. And Dwayne Wade checking out. You wonder, he's rooting for LeBron, but is he rooting for the Heat as a team? We don't know. Davis continues to dominate. Later in the third, he's in the paint, and he's going to flash to the middle. You just have to trust me on that one. Davis, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Lakers win again. Let's hear from LeBron James.
We're very resilient, and throughout adversity, whatever, if it's during the game, we're able to calm our minds and just bounce back. We don't get rattled, and that's not common for a team that's been only together for a short period of time. But it's definitely a good trait to know that when things get tough on the floor, we're not making shots or we're turning the ball over. We're able to still be calm and still execute, and that's what we did.
So LA's roll continues. Now 7-1 this season, best 8-game starts in Phil Jackson's final season in 2010-2011. Also the 4th time in LeBron James' career that his team has started 7-1. Each of the previous 3 times, his team went on to reach the finals, including winning it twice.
To the college game, at least for the moment. Way back on November 29th, 1991, Penny Hardaway scored 18 points and had 15 rebounds in his first game as a player for the Tigers. Now, 28 years later, as the Tigers head coach, he saw his prized pupil James Wiseman score 17 and grab 9 boards just hours after receiving an emergency temporary restraining order to allow him to keep playing. Earlier on Friday, the NCAA had ruled him ineligible, and the university said that Hardaway had paid for $11,500 in moving expenses for Wiseman while he was in high school, unbeknownst to the youngster. Despite all that, Memphis says he's going to play against the University of Illinois, Chicago, with the NCAA putting out a harsh statement saying he is, quote, likely ineligible, and the University of Memphis is going to be ultimately responsible for anything that happens down the road. The freshman Lester Quinones with the pass to the freshman Wiseman. Penny coached him in high school in Memphis. Wiseman's from the Nashville area, but moved to Memphis to sort of play for East High School, where Hardaway was, and that's where the relationship began. That's Boogie Ellis, the Duke transfer, finding Wiseman inside. And then, just a little bit too much. He's coming off a 28-11 game against South Carolina State in the opener. I'm not sure. Thumbs up, thumb downs on the new court there at Memphis, but the guy running the floor at the court is something else, off the feet from Alex Lomax, who is an actual rare returning player for Memphis. And then the rim protector was there. We know what he can do on offense, but this is why people think he's the consensus overall top pick in the 2020 NBA draft. Can reach new heights offensively and defensively, stopping the ball there at its highest point. And then even when gingerly he needs to keep the ball in play, he's able to do it there. Just an all-round incredible talent. As Illinois Chicago found out the hard way, 92-46. Wiseman had 5 blocks. He was taken out of the game, got the standing ovation with all the controversy happening, as you see. He's just a terrific player. Bottom line, after the game, Penny knows you have questions. He doesn't have answers, but at the very end, he said something notable.
I know as much as you guys want to ask me about James, I have to be silent on that because it's an ongoing process. I wish I could talk about it, but we just have to stay silent about it until we move forward. So anybody asking me questions, I'll just have to move past it and say I can't talk about it right now.
Why was the decision made to allow him to play tonight, and will he continue to play while the injunction is in place?
I can't talk about the first part, but he will continue to play.
That last answer is notable. By the way, Memphis' next game next Tuesday against Oregon, their first big test. Now, with an investigation brewing, Memphis defying the NCAA, and the possible forfeiture of any games the Tigers play with Wiseman now currently on the table, you could understand why Wiseman clearly didn't speak after the game. Though after calling the Armed Forces Classic between Washington and Baylor, R.J. Billis had no problem speaking his mind.
The key issue here is that Memphis played James Wiseman when the NCAA said that he was ineligible. And there's an NCAA bylaw, 19.13, that says that if you run into a local court and get a restraining order or some sort of court order and rely upon that to play a player that is ineligible, and later on that TRO is vacated or otherwise dismissed, the NCAA could declare Memphis ineligible this year for the NCAA tournament if it turns out they played an ineligible player in a game. So this is just a garden variety NCAA eligibility issue having to, a booster and an extra benefit. It's not some crazy thing the NCAA is doing here. The NCAA acted in this case like they do in every other. We may not like the rule, but that's the rule.
So essentially, Bill says nothing to see here with regards to being surprised. This happens all the time. Wiseman is just the second freshman in the last 10 seasons to average 20, 10, and shoot 80% from the floor in his first 2 D1 games. The other guy, probably heard of him, Zion Williamson.
Patrick Mahomes is back, or he will be soon. Just over 3 weeks ago, Mahomes dislocated his kneecap against the Broncos. He's been practicing on a limited basis, but his return is still a bit of a surprise so soon. Mahomes and the Chiefs play at Tennessee on Sunday, and he explained how he was able to recover so quickly.
We had a plan with all the doctors, with the whole training staff, and I just try to attack that every single day and do as much as they let me do, and it's helped me recover in a real quick manner. We put me on the run, and I threw it across my body and did all the stuff that I've grown to do as I've been in the NFL and my whole career. And I didn't have any pain. I was still able to do it. I was still able to throw across my body. And I wanted to make sure I was able to do that before I got back on that field.
All right, so